The storm had barely cleared when 17-year-old Alina stood alone at the edge of the abandoned highway, her white cane trembling in her hand. She couldn't see the world around her, but she could feel it, every vibration in the ground, every shift in the air, every danger lurking in the silence. And on that day, danger came roaring toward her on the thunderous engines of the most feared biker gang in the region, the Iron Vipers. People said they were ruthless, untouchable, and led by a man no one dared to cross. But Alina wasn't running. She wasn't hiding. She was standing there, because she had no other choice. Play button if you believe in kindness, hope, and second chances. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It truly helps stories like this reach more hearts. As the engines grew louder, Alina could feel the vibrations humming through her shoes, pulsing up her legs like a warning. Most people would have fled, but blindness had taught her a quiet kind of courage, the kind that came not from confidence, but from surviving everything life had thrown at her since she lost her sight at 13. She clutched her backpack to her chest, whispering to herself that she could do this. She had to. Her mother needed her. They had no money left, no support, just a chance, a small, desperate chance, to get help from someone rumored to be unforgiving, unpredictable, and impossible to approach. But she wasn't seeking help from the gang. She was seeking help from the man who led it. The bike screeched to a halt around her in a rough circle, gravel spraying, the air swirling with smoke and leather and danger. She couldn't see their faces, only heard the clinking chains, the muttered curses, the disbelief. And then, there was silence, until footsteps heavy with authority approached her. That was when she sensed him, the leader. Knox. A name that made grown men's voices drop and mothers pull their children closer. They said he was violent, cold as steel, broken beyond repair. But Alina also knew something no one else did, something she had heard whispered in a hospital hallway months earlier. Knox had once been a different man, a brother, a protector, someone who had loved deeply before tragedy twisted his world. She lifted her chin toward the weight of his presence and told him she needed help. Her voice shook, not from fear of him, but from the desperation she was barely holding together. Her mother was dying. They had no money for treatment. The last thing she had left was a letter from the doctor, confirming that Knox, the terrifying gang leader, was her mother's long-lost half-brother. A brother her mother never got to meet. A brother who never knew she existed. The circle of bikers tensed, waiting for the explosion of anger they expected from their leader. Instead, Knox didn't speak. He didn't curse or threaten. Instead, he stared at her, this fragile blind girl standing in front of roaring engines, with a stunned kind of conflict in his eyes. He took the letter from her and read it, the paper trembling in his gloved hands. Something shifted inside him. Something old, something buried. For years, he had carried violence like a shield, pushing everyone away to avoid feeling anything at all. But now, for the first time in forever, he wasn't looking at an enemy. He was looking at family. Without warning, Knox turned toward his gang and growled an order. Engines roared again, not in intimidation, but in unity. Knox lifted Alina's small frame gently, unexpectedly tender, and placed her on the back of his own massive black motorcycle. She held onto him with hesitant hands, but he tightened her grip for her, silently telling her she was safe. And with a scream of engines, they shot down the road, not toward danger, but toward hope. As they approached the hospital, the entire gang followed like a storm of steel and leather. Nurses scattered, visitors stared, and doctors froze as Knox carried Alina inside in his arms. When he saw her mother lying unconscious, pale and fragile, his facade cracked. He touched the woman's hand like it was something breakable, something sacred. Even without knowing her, he felt the weight of years lost, of blood never acknowledged, of mistakes he couldn't undo. That night, Knox paid every single medical bill without hesitation. His men stood guard outside the room, ensuring silence, safety, and space for a family that had never been whole. Days turned into weeks, and Knox visited every day. He brought food for Alina, sat next to her, guided her hand to objects around the room so she could see them through touch. He even softened his voice, a voice usually sharp as gravel, when he spoke to her. She, in return, reminded him of something he thought he no longer possessed: gentleness. Humanity. A reason to live for more than revenge or survival. For the first time, the Iron Vipers saw their leader heal. But healing rarely comes without a final test. One evening, as Alina and her recovering mother were about to be discharged, a rival gang stormed the parking lot. They were after Knox, angry that he was going soft. They aimed to hurt him by hurting the people he was beginning to care about. Chaos erupted. Bikes fell. Metal clashed. Shouts filled the air. And in the middle of it all, Alina stood frozen, disoriented, unable to tell where danger was coming from. When Knox saw a rival biker sprinting toward Alina with a weapon, something in him snapped. He pushed through the fight, shielded her with his own body, and took the hit meant for her. The world slowed as he crumpled to the ground, blood spreading beneath him. His gang roared in rage and overpowered the attackers, but Alina could only kneel beside Knox, trembling as she touched his face, begging him not to leave her. She told him he'd already saved her once, now she needed him to stay alive so she could save him too. Knox survived. Barely. But something changed in him forever. He disbanded the violent side of the Iron Vipers, turning the gang into a road rescue charity, helping stranded travelers, running food drives, protecting the vulnerable. And every day, he walked Alina to her therapy sessions, guided her steps, and let her guide his heart. In saving her, he rediscovered himself. In trusting him, she found the family she thought she'd never have again. Red Heart, if this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support truly means the world. Memo special request: before you leave, comment below. Kindness can change anyone. And that was the day the world learned that even the most dangerous biker can be transformed by the courage of a blind girl who walked into darkness, carrying nothing but hope.